Okay, good morning, guys. It's not actually morning right now, but while I was thinking about this, I wanted to tell you so I don't forget. This weekend was my girlfriend's birthday, and so we went out on Friday to Texas Roadhouse. Now, the Texas Roadhouse in this area doesn't open till 4 o'clock, and when they do, if you're not the first person in line, the place fills up and overflows, and you just have to wait. They have these little beeper things they give you, and they just call you when your table is ready. But it's usually, at least like a half an hour wait. So what I was so surprised by, they have a really long waiting room, and then a lot of people like spill over to the outside into the little, I guess, breezeway you would call it there, where the door between the two sets of doors. I couldn't believe how many men I saw sitting down while there were tons of older women standing. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but when there are women standing and men sitting, the men stand up so the women can sit down. Now, I'm not talking about like the young girls who are standing there playing on their cell phones. They can handle it. I'm talking about older women, where it is only right for a man to stand up and let her sit down. My girlfriend is older than me, and while we were standing there, I was looking up and down this place, nowhere for anybody to sit at all. But this is when I noticed that there were just so many men just sitting there and ignoring the fact that there were a lot of women standing. And I even said under my breath to my girlfriend, I can't believe there are so many men sitting down when there are so many women standing up. And this guy heard me, and so he then turned and offered his seat to my girlfriend, which she said no. And I didn't mean him to hear me, but, whatever. I'm kind of glad he did, though, But we stepped outside to the little breezeway, where somebody then removed a bag that they had and something else, I don't know, from this seat and let her sit down, which was cool. After a few minutes, they got called in. I sat down there beside her, and there was 2 seats beside me yet, so that was cool. But as soon as those filled up, and then there were more women standing, I stood up. That's what you should do. I mean, if anybody has a good reason why I shouldn't have stood up, or why any man shouldn't stand up and make available his seat for a woman to sit down, then please, I'm all ears. So I was pretty irritated about that. But then something funny happened later on at Walmart. I was out there gathering some things up, and my girlfriend wanted some bologna, but she wanted it from the deli. I hate getting meat from the deli because at this particular Walmart, there is no rhyme or reason to where anybody stands. You don't take a number. There is no line. It's just people standing around. And then when somebody steps up and says, I can take the next person in line, everybody looks at each other and they try to decide who's next in line. Well, I came up, I stood behind this woman who I figured was in line, if it exists. A bunch of other people standing around. Some of them disappeared after that. This man that was apparently with the woman that was in front of me, he kind of bounced around. He was talking to the guy who was up there ordering meat. He was talking to somebody else who was up here ordering meat and cheese. And then he ended up back in line with this woman in front of me. So it's kind of up in the air whether they were actually in line or waiting for one of the other people to get done and they were actually with them, or I don't know. It was confusing. Eventually, this guy comes up from behind the counter and he says very loudly, I can help the next person in line. The woman and the man in front of me are looking directly at him. They didn't make a move, so I thought, okay, they must be with somebody else. I went up there and I said, I need a pound of bologna. And I heard the woman say to her husband something like, apparently, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the husband said he just stepped in front of us or what it was. But I turned to him and I said, well, he just said next in line, you guys were staring straight at him and didn't move. And she says, well, we didn't hear him. And I'm thinking, there's 2 of you standing there. You didn't hear him when you're looking straight at him, and I heard him behind you? So I said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step in front of you, but whatever. And so I felt kind of rude about that right after I was feeling like all these other guys were rude. But, it is what it is. The guy was already digging out my bologna to cut, so I just let him do it. And they were, up there in no time anyways, but I don't know, that's just a couple of stupid things I was thinking about here that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to let you guys go. I got to get on the road here. Wherever you're waking up, whatever time it is, make the best of your day. Do something for somebody else. Pay it forward. If you're a man, let a woman sit down. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.